So wisdom is calling out to you. Like a mother, she is calling out to give you the rebirth of life, to be a son, the heir in the heavenly kingdom of the Lord Almighty. Now into the Revelation books. The Revelation books explain the happenings at that time during the end time period. They were hidden in proverbs, riddles, and sayings. So the bone of graves are also found in Revelation books. The bone of graves of the heavenly kingdom, of the satanic kingdom, and of the people of the world. So, Revelation book, it was hidden. Now the hidden truth is coming to light, being exposed to the whole world, to the sun, to the moon, and the stars in the sky. The bone of graves. But to understand the Revelation books, you must know the purpose of the proverbs, the saying, and the riddles, because they are full of sayings, proverbs, and riddles. And only it is understandable with the wisdom that only comes from God. So wisdom is still calling out to know the truth, the bone of graves of the Revelation books. Let's read from Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1 to 7. Proverbs, purpose and theme. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. 2. For gaining wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight. 3. For receiving instruction in prudent behavior, doing what is right and just and fair. 4. For giving prudence to those who are simple, knowledge and discretion to the young. 5. Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance. 6. For understanding proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles of the wise. 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So, don't be a fool. Don't be a stiff-necked fool. Turn your ear and hear the true wisdom, the true message being revealed, the bone of graves of the Revelation books. Now, the first one that I'm starting with is Revelation chapter 12. 1 verse 1 says, Now a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 stars. I've told you the world that we are living in, it is still part of heaven. A woman clothed with the sun. And I've already revealed to you that Kenya is the woman in labor. Revelation 12. So, the country was clothed with the sun, meaning it had the light of the Lord. It was full of the light of the Lord, the holy people, the holy nation of the Lord Almighty, with the moon under her feet. The moon, it is the light of darkness. Which darkness is this? The satanic world. The moon is the symbol, the yellow color. It is the symbolic light of darkness. The moon light is yellow. The moon is the light of darkness. So, with the moon under her feet, meaning that we had trampled the satanism in the country. We were full of the light of the Lord Almighty. As a country, Kenya, we had not exalted Satanism to rule us. That's why it said, the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 on her head a garland of 12 stars. So, what was reigning at that time? The 12 number spiritually means leadership. So, it was full of glory, of leadership of the Lord Almighty. So, this was the main thing that was happening at that time. The 2022 August 8 elections. Kenya, the woman in labor. So, the garland of 12 stars, the leadership that we were wanting during the elections, it was the one that was leading everywhere. It was about the leadership, the election that was coming. So, the election was top as the main thing. So, 2, then being with child, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. So with the labor that we had as a country, Kenya, we had many things happening. The campaigning, people raising their voices, all the efforts that were being done so that the election finally happens. That was how the country was crying out in labor and in pain to give birth. And another sign appeared in heaven. This is verse 3. Behold, a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 diadems on his heads. So the world is still part of heaven. So still in this world, there was another sign. A great fiery red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns. So this dragon, it is the late Queen Elizabeth. During the events of her burial, when you look at the clothing that were covering her casket, you will see that it had the prints of the red dragon. So there is one, it had the dragon printed in red color. And there's another different fabric, it had the dragon printed in yellow color. So her clothings of the casket, it had the print of the dragon animal. They were different, but the similarity, they had the printing of the dragon animal. So she was the red dragon. And behold, a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads, this and 10 horns. These 7 heads are the 7 decades of the Commonwealth leadership, the head that she had. And 7 diadems on his heads. The 7 diadems, the crown that she had. And the crown which she had was a blasphemous crown. 4. His tail drew a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. So, the glory that was there in the country, through his tail, the follower. A tail is a follower. Who did this? The diamond plus platinums. Because it was Raila Amolo Odinga who had the glory of the Lord Almighty. So, during the rally that he performed, he is a follower of Satan. Diamond Platinums is a follower of Satan. So he was the tail that was used. He was the one used, plus the Kamagos, the followers of the red dragon, to kill the glory that was there, descending from heaven above to the land of Kenya. So they were the followers, the tails, the followers that killed the glory. They were used, the followers of Satan. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to give birth, to devour her child as soon as it was born. So he was very much interested in the elections that happened in August 2022. She wanted to serve his own purpose and interest. I am referring to a he because he is a general term for mankind. It can either be a male, it can either be a female. So he was there, ready to do things as quickly as possible so that the end results is in favor of her own interest. So she stood before the woman who was ready to give birth, to devour her child as soon as it was born. So the Kamagos were all links of the late Queen Elizabeth. They were links of the late Queen Elizabeth. 5. She bore a male child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God and his throne. So this male child that was born was Raila Amolo Odinga. The male child that was supposed to rule all nations with a rod of iron, caught up to God and his throne. Ruto never won the elections. They stole the elections. They did a malpractice together with Chebukati and the rest. So, the male child that was born was Raila Amolo Odinga. That was the true end results of the August 2022 elections. Kenya, the woman in labor. Chapter 6. Then the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. So we had to stay in isolation on our own so that we be able to find the truth and the way out. And it required a period of time. That's why during the period of August 8th election, before the Supreme Court ruling was made, the prophecy of Bishop Thuya came in, which said Raila will be president. And it went on saying that Ruto's win will be nullified. State House has not congratulated. It was find that prophecy and read it. And at the end, she said it will take time. Time will tell, meaning there was a period of time. So it wasn't at that time, but it required a period of time. During this period, the isolation, living in the wilderness, is when the truth is coming out. And the truth is here finally. So it required a period of time. So the Supreme Court upholded William Samoei Ruto, but he never won the elections. That's why even during that same period, when the Supreme Court upholded the ruling in favor of William Samoei Ruto, God still communicated, and he communicated through Apostle Joshua Selman. There is a video that circulated, and Selman was saying that he was there in the spirit when the ruling was being made. And he went on and said, truly there was a malpractice, but the court decided to uphold Ruto. But in the end, he said, but whoever God has upholded, that one will never change. And the video ended by, they were singing, he reigns, he reigns. So the Spirit of the Lord still communicated. Seven, and war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. Now, this Michael is the late Michael Jackson. He is still there, roaming as a spirit, because he was made an idol of worship in the satanic world. He was made a king in the satanic world. They ruled this satanic kingdom through music. So it was a fight, a spiritual fight with the dragon. Because he died a painful death, a death of torment, because of the demonic spirits and the demonic world. And the late Queen Elizabeth, she is still and has been the secret leader of Freemason altar of the darkness. She is been ruling in secrecy, hiding. And the song that Michael Jackson sang, Blood is on the Dance Floor, he was trying to raise his voice to warn other people, to alert them about the secret behind the music industry. It is full of sacrifices. The Hollywood industry. the devil's kingdom, the main devil's kingdom. It is full of sacrifices. The blood is on the dance floor. So it is not the glamour that people see, the good entertainment that they enjoy. There are some things that are hidden that involve sacrifices of people. So the war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. So because of this, they were not in agreement. Because before Michael died, Michael Jackson, he wished so much to change his way, to return to the Lord Almighty. But he was chained and he suffered a lot under the torture. He rebelled against the music industry, against Queen Elizabeth and his satanic industry. So he is there, alive in the spirit and roaming, trying to protect God's people. So they could not make one dwelling place on their own. He couldn't accept. He is much alive in the spirit. So, but they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the only thing that was left for the late Queen Elizabeth in the world was only death. She felt sick. She was not in good, perfect condition. She was trying so much that she be able to live. But no place was found for her anymore. Her time had come for her to die. There was no more room, there was no more place, there was no more accommodation for her in the world, the heaven that we are in right now. So, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. Not just her, but together with her followers, the demonic spirits, the army that she had, because their time had come. Their end had come. 9. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceived the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So the great dragon was cast out, the late Queen Elizabeth. He had no more room, no more place. The only particular specific place for her that remained was the ground, the depth, to be buried. She was no more of any use. Her time has come for her to die. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan. She was rejected by Michael Jackson. She was rejected by Michael Jackson. The prince, the king, the idol. That ruled the earth in secrecy. He was the king of pop. He was made into an idol of worship, with even the plastic surgery. So there was no more place for her. Even he was rejected by Michael, one of his followers, because they were ruling the world in secrecy. They trapped more souls, they trapped more people. Through him, many were trapped to be followers of Satan, the late queen. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, the serpent of old. She died on 18th at 96 years. The serpent of old. A snake hides. So was her character. She was the Satan. She was the Antichrist. She was the leader of Freemason, but she was hiding. That's why she's being called the serpent. The snake hides and coils itself. You will never know the exact movement where it's heading or where it's coming from. So that's why she is being referred to as the serpent of old, who deceived the whole world. She ruled the whole world. And even she had the name the London Bridge. Everything, the affairs of the whole world rotated around her. So she ruled and deceived the world secretly. She was the Satan, the Antichrist. He was cast to the earth. He, I repeat, he is a general term for mankind. He was cast to the earth meaning ground, the specific and particular place only left for her, the death. And his angels were cast out with him, together with his followers. So their time had come, their end time had come. They had no more room to deceive the world, because their time had come, their end had come. But remember that the Satan is still dead. She died, but her kingdom is much alive, and it has many followers. So that is something that you must remember. So she was cast together with him, meaning that even the kingdom that still exists, they have no more room. The only thing that is left for them is the lake of fire. This is the only particular place that is left for them. They have nothing. Their time has expired. They are counting their days to their end, because they have no more room. Their time has come to an end. Revelation 10. Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now salvation and strength, Now salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before our God day and night, has been cast down. So with her death, remember that Ruto's inauguration ceremony was on 13th and the queen died on 18th of September. Both were on September. And the 13th number in the spiritual world, it is of the Antichrist. It is of the demonic world. It is symbolic number of the dark world. So, this death of the late Queen Elizabeth, it marked the beginning of end times. The end of dark ruling, not the end of the world, as we have been made to believe. The end of dark ruling. The doctrines that we were born in and we found them being taught and we had to believe. Many believe that it is the end of the world, but it is not the end of the world. It is the end of dark ruling. It marked the beginning of end times. That's why it says, "Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, 'Now salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have come.'" So it marked the beginning of end times, the end of dark ruling, for God to redeem his holy people. For the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before our God day and night, has been cast down. So she laid a lot of traps for people to make them sin and be against God, not to follow the rules and commands, the law that God required us to live. So she laid the traps, and that's how, through these traps, we were accused before our God day and night. So the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before our God day and night, has been cast down. So she was no more. She was no more. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they did not love their lives to the death. That's why you find there are many testimonies. When you go into YouTube, there are many testimonies. People confessing many things of the dark world, of the satanic world. So that is how people are overcoming him by the blood of the Lamb, which is the word of the Lord Almighty. The confession. Confession is healing. Confession is change and rest. So through these confessions, people are acquiring the light, being redeemed by the blood of the Lamb, Jesus Christ, to be made new and turning away from their evil ways and from the traps of darkness. So the confessions are so many, testimonies, especially in YouTube, even in churches. There are many testimonies. That's how people are overcoming Satan, so that they be redeemed and have the mark of the Lord Almighty. And they did not love their lives to the death. So whatever she did to people, whatever she has been doing, she has caused great damage with lies, deceit, that even her death, it is not worthy as compared to the damage that she has done to people's lives. Therefore, rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has a short time. So, she is there as a spirit, roaming, destroying the people in great wrath, so that she be able to have many followers who will die with her in the lake of fire. So, she is there roaming as a spirit, and she knows the destiny that she has with her followers. It is the lake of fire, being burned in the lake of fire. And it is only a short time remaining. So she is there roaming as a spirit, trapping people. She wants that no one be found worthy to become a heir to the heavenly kingdom of the Lord Almighty. Now when the dragon saw that he had been cast to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child. So when she knew that the only thing that was left for her is death, she had nothing more in this world. With changing the election results, that's how he treated our country, Kenya, badly. Because it had given birth to the male child Raila Amolo Odinga. So whatever happened in the August 2022 8 elections, it was the hand of the late Queen Elizabeth. Ruto accepted this satanic leadership. And that's how we were persecuted as a nation, the holy nation of the Lord Almighty. That's how we are suffering under Ruto's leadership, because we are being led by the voices of darkness. And these voices of darkness have no mercy on Kenyans, the holy people of the Lord Almighty, because they know they are the true heirs, the first heirs of the heavenly kingdom. 14. But the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place, where she is nourished for a time and half a time from the presence of the serpent. So, even though she persecuted the nation, God never turned away the glory that the nation had. God still upholded the glory that the nation had. We are in isolation, and we are still in isolation for a specific period of time under God's watch. So this God's watch, it is the shield that is covering the nation and the people, so that the red dragon, the serpent, is not able to destroy the nation completely, the descendants of Jacob, the remnants of Israel. So we are in isolation, in a spiritual isolation. It is a spiritual war. And God Himself is the one being the shield to the nation for a specific period of time, so that the nation won't be destroyed completely by the satanic world headed by the late Queen Elizabeth, the serpent of old. 15. So the serpent spewed water out of his mouth like a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. So she forced his own power into the country through William Samoei Ruto, so that we are now under the secret satanic leadership. That's how the serpent spewed water out of his mouth. He declared his satanic power into the nation. He forced it to come into leadership and reign and rule the nation of Kenya, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood, so that we may be swept by the satanic leadership, with the dark voices, with the dark spirits, with the dark demonic torments. That's how everything is happening right now. We are in the flood of the red dragon. We are drowned in the flood, the power of the satanic world, by the red dragon. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. So, how did the earth help us with the death that happened of the late dragon? Now, just imagine, now she is dead, but look at the torment the country is facing. What if she was alive? What if she was alive? How will the nation be? How will the nation be? And remember, she ruled and controlled the whole world. But now she is dead. But look at how the nation is. What if she was still alive? That's how the earth, the ground helped us, the country, with the death. 17. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her offspring, who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Currently, we are in a spiritual war. She is there, roaming as a spirit, making war with the saints of the Lord, so that he dies with many into his devilish kingdom. She has many followers, so that no one is found worthy. That's the main goal, the main aim. So she is there. It is a spiritual war. People are having spiritual demonic attacks. And how are they having these spiritual demonic attacks? Through the wares of the devil. The marks that she founded. People are being located through these wares of the devil. And that's how the war is going on, the spiritual war. People are having demonic attacks during day, during night time. Some collapsing in an instant. You just find someone dead, as if she struggled with something. There are demonic attacks, and these demonic attacks fighting with unseen forces. They just descend on you and they choke you to death. It is happening. It is happening. And people are being located through the marks of the devil, the wares of the devils, which include clothings, the ornaments, like bracelets, chains, the makeups. The wares are so many. So these are the things that the red dragon is using now to make war with the saints. That's why it was written, during the end times, each person will have the 666 mark. So people were made into dark covenants, knowingly or unknowingly. And this is what is being used to locate people under the heavenly kingdom, to suffer the torment. So when these demonic spirits are released into the atmosphere, when they are roaming into the atmosphere, they are locating people through their wares. The code that they set to trap people, so that they remain under their torment. They remain under their captivity. So these are codes that are being used. The war that is right now happening, so that she dies with many in the lake of fire. So until her death, she is still angry with the nation of Kenya, the holy people. The war is on. There is a bad spiritual war, fighting with the unseen, that is going on. So this, the rest of her offspring are the codes, the wares of the devil. So they have ganged up to make war. So that's how Revelation 12 is explained. It is a riddle. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her offspring, who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So, watch and pray. Watch and pray. Especially these beautiful things. Just get off from your body, because they are the wares of the devil that people are being located to suffer the demonic torments. And only the prayerful people are the one who are surviving. But the rest, they end up dying. They end up killing. They end up doing what is forbidden. Because the spirits, remember, our body are only vessels. People stay under the capture of the demonic spirits. The bad happens. They either kill. Some, during their sleep, they are choked with the unseen spirits. They descend. They are descending on people. Someone just in an instant may feel dizzy, losing breath. They are being choked with the unseen. You may sit with someone, then you just see a person collapse. You just see a person die. They are being attacked by demonic spirits, demons that are unseen. Even during sleep. Unaweza ukapata mtu amekauka, ni kama alikuwa na struggle na kitu, lakini amelala yeye peke yake. Unashangaa alikufa vipi? Nini ilikuwa inamnyonga? Demonic attacks are happening. Demonic attacks are happening. It is a spiritual war, and only the violent will take it by force. And when I say the violent, it doesn't mean that the physical violence, but the spiritual violence. Because when you are spiritually violent with the light of God, these demons, they flee. They flee. I tell you, they flee. I have had many attacks. I'll explain later. I have had many attacks, especially if you have, again I repeat, the beaded Maasai bracelets. Just keep off from them. If you have, cut it off and burn. These are the main codes that are existing today. The codes of war with the unseen spirits. People are being located through them. They know you're spiritual. If you are truly a follower or you are having the mark of the Lord. So they are mainly targeting those people who are pure, having the light of the Lord Almighty. Those are the main people that they want to kill them and destroy them. So don't be among the target of the devil. So watch and pray. And watch not with the physical eye, with the spiritual eye. Watch what surrounds you. Even the person that is living with you. Be able to know the true agenda. Some are living with the secret agents of the devil. You're living with someone, but he wants to kill you secretly. So watch and pray. Brother will put brother to death. This is the time that has come. So watch and pray. The violent are the ones who will take it by force. Because it is bad time. Terrific and horrible times. Just imagine you are fighting, you are physically but fighting with the unseen. You feel them around you. Sometimes even you develop goosebumps. You feel like as if you are choked. You feel as if the room is crowded, but you are not seeing. You are just feeling. They are always there with you. That's why it was written, walls have ears. Because every time, in everything that you do, there is always the unseen that surround you. They are the walls that are having ears. The monitoring spirits that are always there with you, monitoring your every move. So watch and pray. It is hard times.